Sweet. Right. Good morning. Good morning. So, I am going to be starting to work on some pre-market analysis. So, right here, let me actually get this up and operational. Cool. So, as of today, I'm going to be starting some live events in order to create pretty much my weekly and daily pre-market prep. So as of right now, not sure the plan of action on which days. I pretty much have the time set. I'm thinking about 5 a.m. CST. So as of right now, I got a full-time job that I'm working from. I have to leave my house by pretty much 7:30 and then get home about like 6. So due to those reasons, I am working on trying to build my wealth in the future. So pretty much with that, I am looking to trading long-term swing trades, and then some possible opportunities in order to trade um, day trades. So pretty much I wanted to start my pre-market analysis. I have created a handful of things. I got my full-on trading plan right here that I have built. It has a handful of different pages. Um, but yeah, this is my whole trading plan. I have it already set in stone. So therefore, I'm going to be keeping on, like just working on everything that I'm doing. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. If y'all have any, feel free to reach out. Let me go ahead and send some information over. Let's see. Let me just send this over. Hopefully, y'all can hear me just fine. If y'all have any questions, feel free to send them in the comments. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So right here, we have our Forex Factory. So with Forex Factory, what I usually do is, so Fridays are kind of hard sometimes on determining if I want to trade or not. Usually whenever I'm focused on swing trades, I like to enter, because I trade gold, I usually enter between Monday and Thursdays. Fridays, I usually don't enter, depending on the setup. If I believe the setup would have a higher probability of working, even holding through the weekend, I could take an opportunity. But if I believe that the trade might not work, then at that point, if it has a higher probability of not working, then I would just wait till Monday for another setup in order to jump in. So that's pretty much what I would wait to see. So, for example, Friday is January 2nd, and as we're going through the pre-market, I'm going to go through pretty much all of the details there. So, Friday, January 2nd, as of right now, we have 2 news events coming out. And then beyond that, on Fridays, I like to just kind of quickly glance over weekend news and then going into Monday at least. And then beyond that, I would just try to find out if there's any other information that I need to know of any sort. So as of right here, we have Saturday. So we have Friday, a couple news events, Canada and USD. And then we have Saturday, Sunday, we have some news events. So USD has FOMC. We have an FOMC speaker, member speaker. So that could potentially give a little ripple in the markets over the weekend. Probably not too much, because the yellow folders, what they're indicating is very low probability of market movement, but it is a news event that needs to be mentioned, right? So beyond that, we also have JPY on Sunday going into the opening, based upon my time frame. So Beyond that, we also have Monday. So just a quick glance on Monday. So just quickly go over the weekend part. So Saturday through Sunday, not too much really going on. So if you wanted to buy or sell and hold over the weekend, you are probably in a fairly good stance to buy or sell without many gaps happening in the futures and or the forex stock exchange and so forth. So whenever you look at weekend, these if you have a red folder over the weekend or an orange folder over the weekend, that means it's a high impact news. And what's going to happen is it could, not saying it will, it could have a high probability of gapping for the next day. So beyond that, we also have Monday. So going into Monday, we have a handful of different news events throughout the day. For USD, we have PMI. Um, that one's usually a fair one that's going to make the markets move. Depending on what time frame you trade, right? If you're trading 5 minute, 15 minute, probably going to see a higher fluctuation in price movement. Now, if you're, for example, I trade based upon the 1 hour, based upon the 2 hour, based upon the 4 hour. So based upon that information, it's not going to affect me as much, except for during the 9 to 10 o'clock hours. So therefore, if I'm going to be getting into a trade, I have to be worried, especially if I'm trading on a prop firm or anything, and if it has any rules based upon news directly, right? You want to be mindful of these high impact news. If you're not a news event trader, that's perfectly fine. If you're fully technical, if you are a news event trader, be mindful of whatever prop firm you are in, because certain ones have certain time limits, certain ones, have certain expectations for trading the news specifically. So, for example, the one that I utilize, that one, you cannot make a modification during the news event to your trade unless you've already been in the position, I believe, for the last 4 to 6 hours. If you've been in the trade for the last 4 to 6 hours, you can move your stop loss or take profit, but you cannot place a trade within 5 minutes before or 5 minutes after the news. So that's very critical, because if I know there's a news event coming on here, then I need to make sure that I don't place a trade during a high impact news event. And most of the time, prop firms will lay out exactly which news events are considered a high, like a red one. Most red ones are going to be a high impact. Another thing just to kind of mention, since we are on here, day one, I want to give you some tips that I use personally. So on here, you can see, if you ever go to forexfactory.com, right? On here, you have your time frame, you have your pair, your currency pair, you have your impact amount. I don't know if you've ever seen these little guys right here, but these are actually very important to me. All you got to do is you click it, and then it pops up, has this little pop-up, and it asks you right here how you would like to get notified about this news event. So me personally, I have data release. So the moment that the data is released, say it's released a minute after the news event, I get an email directly to me, right? And then I also get a 1 hour warning. You can also set it up for a 10-minute warning. So all of these reasons help you in the sense of making sure that you can actually have, based upon your trading platform, you can set this up to help guide you in making sure you set up the right, um, time limits, right? If you're not allowed to trade any news event 15 minutes prior, it would be great to add the 10-minute warning as well as the 1 hour warning, just to give you a refresher that you can't trade until your time frame has arrived, right? So that's pretty much what I have here. So you can utilize that on any of these here. So if you trade only, say you trade currency pairs, EU versus anything else, right? I trade USD versus any other pair. I kind of went through my test trial phase. I broke it down to two main pairs that I trade now, beyond the other additional pairs that I trade. But if you trade, say, EU versus USD and then EU versus AUD, and that's like your main currency that you trade off of, what could happen is you could follow every single thing for EU, and then you can follow any additional ones. So I used to trade GA, so I added this one to my this CPI event to my information of getting emails sent to me. So that's kind of like what I do in order to help. Um, let's see. So that's going to be the beginning of my pre-market. So let's go ahead and jump into the chart. So let me go ahead and switch my screen over. All right, there we go. Just check this out. All right, so going right into the DXY, I have on my pre-market plan, I pretty much have my whole, breakdown that I want to go through. So with my breakdown, I always do DXY first, and then I usually jump right into my forex pairs, which is GU, and I also jump into UJ. These I have recently been trading the last year, like 1 year. So most of 2025, I've kind of like started, dabbling into the forex exchange mainly. My main pair that I usually trade is gold. Um, I've used to trade for about 3 to 4 years. Um, was it whenever I first got started learning? So I only started learning about 5 years ago. With that said, I've learned a lot through the time. And with that, right here, I've used to trade, or I mainly trade gold. I used to trade NQ. I used to trade S&P, the S&P 500. I'm starting to trade silver, and I'm starting to understand the US 30. So all of these are my main pairs that I'm currently moving forward, planning on trading after I was looking at all the information that I wanted to trade. I'm accustomed already to GU, gold, right? NQ, the S&P, silver, and UJ. Or sorry, not silver as much. Silver is a gold, right? Or silver is a metal, just like gold is. And gold, I usually have had a lot of success with. So with that said, the US 30 and silver are new to me. So therefore, I'm going to be limiting my trades on those, but I am looking at them to see what future opportunities I could have. There's actually some possible setups that can occur. As long as it follows my system, I would be glad to go ahead and start a trade. So on DXY, so you can see here, I'm going to go ahead and start my pre-market analysis. So pretty much my aim of the game in order to literally sum up moving forward all of my pre-markets. I am a technical trader. The first thing that I try to find out is the market making lower highs and lower lows? Or is the market making higher highs and higher lows? And then my third one is the market making higher highs, lower highs, higher highs, lower highs, and just like mixing it, right? So if the market looks like this, kind of like this, right? I typically don't look for a trade opportunity until we get a clear momentum. So if we look at this, for example, this is higher high, higher low, right? So right here, you have with this move up right here, you have this piece, which is a higher high. And then price comes down, and then it makes this piece right here, which is a higher low. And then after making higher high, higher low, the main thing is that once price breaks this spot here, once price comes down, makes the higher low, and breaks this higher low is now finally confirmed, making it as a bullish opportunity. So once this price breaks out, this has now created a higher high. right? So from this higher high right here, we then are now looking for a higher low. So that's pretty much my whole entire, um, pretty much my whole look that I'm looking at with the pre-market is this trade, like is this currency, or is this market, whatever I'm looking at, is it in an uptrend or downtrend? And then if I can't determine that, then I skip pretty much the whole rest of the analysis. So, for example, if I can determine whether this is an uptrend or downtrend, then I'll continue to break down the pair. If I cannot determine if it's an uptrend or downtrend, I will typically stop depending on what time frame I'm in. I might stop um, breaking it down because it's undecisive. So some things that I like to look at. So we can actually go from square one on this one. I'm going to leave it up for right now, but I'm going to go ahead and just take all of the drawings off. So let's go ahead and just look at the weekly. So the weekly time frame, we can kind of look at the majority direction, right? So if you look at the majority direction, we had a major high up here. We dropped, right? Price kind of came back up, and then we dropped, right? So overall, when you're looking at this information based upon the weekly time frame, the overall direction is down, simply put, right? Then if we zoom in to most recent information, let's just say right here, you can see most recent information off the weekly, meaning each candle right here is 1 week of data. So this is all the way in January, right? All the way down here, Monday, the 27th, January 2025, all the way to here, which is pretty much the new year. So this is pretty much all of last year. So all of last year, we had a major push down, and then we're just kind of like, we're coming down slowly, but kind of starting to chop. So if you look at the full price action here, what price action I mean is looking at the candles and just looking at each individual candle on how the entire market's moving. If I had to define literally this whole, chart right here, the most formations was in this one, this second, and this third candle. If you look at the overall move, just out of these three candles alone was 8,650 pips. And if you go to the entire move from high to low, you had a 13,825 total pip move from the high to the low recently. All I'm trying to say here is these three candles, one, right, this one bearish engulfing candle, which again is 1 week at a time, right? This second one right here, and then this third one right here. These three candles alone make up 3/4 of the entire move down. So that is what I'm referring to whenever I say price action. The price action of these three candlesticks are pretty much coming into the majority of this move down. So let's kind of go break down DXY, and then we're going to go into the most relative information. So just kind of pinpoint all this information that I drew on here. I'm just going to show you a little bit about what I've drawn and when I drew it. So on here, this actually has all like the details, right? So right here, I drew this back in January 2nd, 2026. Is that right? No, that shouldn't be right. Oh, I guess I modified it. Did I not? Oh, maybe whenever I delete this. I don't know. That's weird. Huh. Well then, never mind. It says modified. Yeah. I guess whenever I turned it off, that's whenever it did that. Oh well. All right. So going into here, very simply put, so this is the weekly candle. Turning it off, we can see I can see clearly, right, with price action coming down, we made a low, market pulled back up, made a high, market came back down, breaking this low, right, coming all the way down here, new low, price then pulled up, made a new high. So this high right here is lower than this high. So therefore, we are then in a bearish market, right? We have the high to a low to the most recent lower high. And now what I would be anticipating is the low to continue, right? So as of this moment, we had a bullish structure coming in from here. And then we created a double top from this top right here. So putting this out, right? This top, this makes a double top. This now makes a triple top. And then we push down. So we are showing lots of bearish opportunities. So with the bearish opportunities, as of right now, I am anticipating a little bit of a pullback based upon the weekly, and then a continued push down to possibly break out of this consolidation zone, depending if this bullish move is weak or strong. And what I mean by weak would be stuff like this. Really small or really weak price action where the price moves, but it doesn't really go anywhere at the end of the week, right? Price action. We had a open at the bottom, close at the top. We had an open at the bottom, close near the top, and so forth all the way up. So depending on price action, right? The way that I trade is price action, right? Market structure, and then on top of that, of course, just well, that's mainly like how I look at it. And then beyond that is just trying to find where I'm actually looking to be interested into the market, on where like I actually want to get in a trade, and then pretty much trading it to the opportunity that I see. So to break that a little bit further, so let's go into the daily. And then hopefully by tomorrow, these pre-markets, well, tomorrow, Saturday. So not tomorrow, but Sunday. Sunday, I like to do my weekly pre-market analysis. And with that one, it's a little more detailed. But beyond that, today is day one. So I just wanted to kind of give you a little insight of everything that we're going to be showing here. So right here, market comes up, market starts coming down. And this is what I see based upon the weekly price action. We have made one major push down, and I can delete this kind of information here. I could leave that one for the moment. So we had a push up, and now we're pushing down on the weekly. So based upon this major push down, this would be in a little bit of a trend line area. We are starting to break right now. I personally don't think that this Fibonacci is going to hold that well, because we created a daily double bottom kind of right here. I am thinking we are going to be in a weekly Fibonacci at this very moment. So what I mean by that, Fibonacci, you take the most recent higher low or lower high. So this is the higher and most recent lower high of the triple bottom, or the triple top, sorry. And then you take this and you drag this piece all the way down to the most recent low. And then what I'm anticipating is I wait for the 50% retracement to get tapped up to the 78 area. And then I anticipate a major continuation down to the Fibonacci zones. So as of right now, I'm expecting this lower high to be broken, and I'm expecting this lower high to be tested, and then we're going to break down again. So that's going to be, maybe another 2 weeks. So with my trading, it takes time. But as of today, this is what I'm seeing off of DXY. I'm anticipating that this move up would continue, and then we're going to make a major move down. So that's pretty much the DXY. On the DXY, I don't go lower than the daily time frame, because all I use the DXY for is direction for UJ and GU. So if I believe that the DXY is going up, I use correlation. Sorry, let me go back. So I use correlation. So if USD is going up, off of GU. GBP is first, USD is second. Because USD is second, the DXY is USD. So if USD is going to go up, what that's going to mean for GU is more than likely GU is going to try to head down, because GU, right? So like USD tries to go down, or if USD tries to go up and GU is going to try to do the opposite of whatever the USD is doing, because they're trying to counterbalance each other out. So with USD being second, it should do the opposite of the DXY. Now for UJ, USD is first, meaning whatever I see on the DXY right here on the screen, it's looking like it's going to go up. UJ should follow the DXY. UJ should start heading up. And if we look at it, we had a really nice uptrend. We're having a pullback right now, and then we might continue to make this high. And if we look at UJ, just very simply put on a daily, we had a very nice uptrend, a little bit of a pullback, kind of sideways action, and now we might continue on a bullish trend. So for those exact reasons is pretty much where I'm thinking we are going to be continuing to go higher, at least for the time being. Let me go back to here. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I have for the DXY. So I'm going to speed the next two up a little bit quickly. So going right into GU, we're going to take a quick glance at the weekly time frame. So let's kind of go into, I just want to see if these are going to show it or not. December 30th as well. Oh, weird. All right. Well, it's all good. So on here, we have added a Fibonacci from this high, or this higher low to this higher high. I'm anticipating we had a major pullback right between the 50 and 78%. We created this double bottom with a higher low area right here before we're in this uptrend. I've noticed that we have connecting this dot and these two lower highs here. I can delete this. It's just market structure. I can always re-put it on. So I can see right here, this is what we are looking like in the weekly time frame. We have this pivot point, this pivot point, this pivot point. All right. So we have 3 touches on this trend line. Then we have 1, 2 touches off of this trend line, and we could be having an opportunity for a 3rd touch. Then going into the daily. So if we are in a bullish price action currently, I am thinking one of 2 things. I am personally thinking we are going to go ahead and continue up and touch this trend line and then make a major pullback. Or what's going to happen, and we're currently there right now actually. So based upon this Fibonacci that I drew out already, I'm going to extend it over a little bit. We actually made a really good opportunity based upon my system right here. So this, I can kind of clear up the chart so it looks a little easier. All right, so we are at a key level. We have been stalled. We have retraced. This is the most recent. So market structure first, right? So market structure, we were in a downtrend. Price came up, made a lower high, made a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Price came up, higher high, and we are currently not guaranteed, but we are currently making a higher low now. So if this higher low is strong, then we could go and reach this Fibonacci zone. Could, doesn't mean it's going to be guaranteed. Because what could happen as well, we could get back up to this key level, and then we could reject back down, right? But this is my market structure currently. We are making higher lows, or we're making, higher lows and higher highs. So we are in a bullish trend. So I am looking for buys, simply put. So when I'm looking at this, now I'm going to go down to the 4 hour. So in the 4 hour, I want to look at the trend that we are currently in. And just to look at this real quick, this right here, this area of consolidation, I would not be looking for a trade inside this. This is why I never got in for this move, is because you can see market structure, right? We came from a high, came to a higher low. So higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower high, or lower low, lower high, or higher low, lower high, higher low. So like this was consolidation for me, which means I did not want to get into this move. But now that we have gotten out of this consolidation, right, we have broke out, and now we're coming back to retest. I have found that this area right here, highlighted in the orange, was a really strong pivotal area in the past, right? Support, 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 right? Had some support here, broke through a little bit, but support, support, right? Some support here, right? Had some resistance on the opposite end in the past, right? Resistance, resistance. So due to this area being respected multiple times, I was looking for a buy opportunity. So right here, we are waiting for a opportunity on the 4 hour, on the 2 hour, on the 1 hour in order to get a buy. So as of this moment, the daily looked nice. This 4 hour candle right here, this hammer candle, is a really nice 4 hour hammer candle in order to get an entry. So technically, you could have gotten an entry right off of that. Let's see if I can long position. The only thing with this one, if you did get in a position here, this is off of 4 hour, and our risk to reward would have been slightly less than what I aimed for, which is a 1-to-3 risk to reward ratio. So this one would have been a 2.73, which is not bad at all. But as of right now, we do know we are at a key level, so that would also play a role. So by being at a key level, it just makes it a little more difficult to continue beyond it, because we've already had 1, 2, 3 major rejections, and then we're breaking back down. Me personally, I believe we are in a retracement off of the daily as of now, because we had this great rejection here, but we are currently failing to continue. Like if we wanted to continue, price would need to stop like almost ASAP and immediately start reversing back to the high. Does that make sense? Like we need to see a buy opportunity in the next like couple candles. If we do not see a buy opportunity in the next couple candles off of the 4 hour, the 2 hour, or the 1 hour, more than likely we're gonna retrace, right? More than likely we're gonna retrace all the way down to this weekly, daily or weekly, right? Fibonacci zone. So if we have a smaller Fibonacci zone, because we've already met this one, so I could delete it. This weekly Fibonacci, we have this A to B, meaning that we're going to need to pull all the way down to 1.3. You can see it right there on the right hand side, 1.35 or 75 roughly, which is kind of like a mid level. So let's see if I can draw it on right here. Horizontal ray. Somewhere right here, right? I don't like the horizontal ray. The horizontal ray I use for a different thing. Somewhere right here, right? So, which you see my mid-level above, this would be my mid-level below. So what I would be anticipating, we already made this major move up, right? All the way from 1.3, which is a key level, and we got all the way to our next key level. So we went from key level to key level, which is really phenomenal. Now that we're here and we're giving the daily rejection, I believe we are going to pull back to our mid-level, find some support in these support resistance zones, and then continue up. So if you wanted to trade a bearish opportunity at this very moment, I believe you could get a really great opportunity. Now, I would not be trading bearish because I trade with the overall trend. So as of right now, I would be waiting for this retracement, another buy opportunity setup to occur, and then I would look for my buys. Now, if you're looking for a sell opportunity off of the, say, 2 hour, 1 hour, let's just pull up the 1 hour time frame. We can see that we are in an overall uptrend, right? We are having this major rejection here. But at this very moment, we have right here this triple top at the key level, right? So that's one great thing. We have this Fibonacci A to B, right? A, B, retracement of the 61. This, if you got in off of this move right here, this is where you would want to have gotten it, right? Off of this bearish engulfing bar, breaking this EMA just by a tick, by a hair, right? This would have been your best opportunity. Your second best opportunity has not arisen. So due to that, what we would be waiting for as of this moment on the 1 hour is price to reject because it's thinking it's in a bullish trend, and then boom, creates a lower high, and then we break this area, right? Somewhere in this newly found tiny Fibonacci, right here to wherever it stops, right? Somewhere in this zone here, right, 50% or so, we could get back up to, kind of like this, little zone here, right? And then we could continue breaking to the low. But as of right now, there's no other trade opportunity at this very moment to trade to the downside. You would have to wait for price to stop, to pull back up, and then to fill that move up. So that's pretty much what I'm at right now for GU. So we are currently, I believe, in a down direction from this overall. We have an overall uptrend, but we are pulling back off the weekly in order to set up for a weekly buy. So that's what it looks like to me. And then we got UJ. So I'm just going to pinpoint UJ very quickly, and then we're going to jump into gold, and then that will complete my analysis for the day, because I don't want to stay on here for too long. As I mentioned, I got to go to work in a little while. So going in right here off of UJ, I got a lot of stuff on my chart. I apologize. What I like to do is turn everything off, just kind of quickly glance at what the market looks like. So you can see that the market, this is what I've seen. So looking at overall trend, we came up, made a high, and then we came down, made a higher low. We came up, made a high, higher low, higher high, and then we came down, double bottom right here, right? Double bottom, came up, lower high, triple bottom, right? And now we are at the most recent high, creating a double top currently, possibility of a breakout move. So that's currently what I'm on at this very moment. But yeah, beyond that, we had a really strong trend to the upside. And so this is off the weekly. And if we look at the daily as of right now, just kind of zooming in, we are again still in this uptrend here. Zooming in closer off of the dailies, we are currently making these higher high, right? Higher high, higher low. Price comes up, makes a double top, comes down, a higher low than this higher low, higher high, higher low. Price then breaks up, makes this minor higher high here, higher low. Price comes up, higher high, comes all the way down, higher low, lower high, showing bearish opportunity, and then double bottom, bullish opportunity once again, breaks, makes a higher high from this high, but a double top from this high. So this is consolidation, right? We had price coming to a down move that then created a bullish move here, which then also created another bearish move, which then came down and made a bullish move. So I am personally looking for buys off of UJ. So by looking at buys off of UJ, I have popped this back on. I have, for my reasons of a buy, would be we are still in a uptrend. This is the most recent higher low before the higher high, before the consolidation started, meaning you have a double bottom, which is another form of saying we are bullish again. We had a new high recently of this high, meaning bullish structure is strong. We had a higher low, sorry, that was then formed with a close to a double, or we had a double bottom here, and then we had a higher low formed on the 4-hour. So for all of these reasons, I got in off of, I think, this 4-hour bullish engulfing bar right here. So yeah, we are pretty much just looking at holding this trade until it is done working out. And my take profit area is based upon, I think, my daily fib. Yeah, so my daily fib. So I have this higher low to this higher high. We have created higher lows here, and we are trying to buy all the way until 1.60 or 160.6 area. So my take profit is a little bit shy of that. It's 160.5, just in case it doesn't get all the way there. Now I am going to take some profits at the -27. This is a 1 in 11 risk reward ratio. So that's just kind of like where I'm at with UJ at this very moment. 4 hours looking really nice as of right now. If you break it down to a 2-hour, we can also just kind of quickly glance at the 2-hour. 2-hour, we are again making higher high or higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, right? And we have a higher high here, higher high, and we are anticipating this to make a new higher high. What could happen, and this is something to be mindful of, we are at near this key level area. And what we could do is we could come up to this key level, make a lower high, and then fell, right? That could happen. So we could also come up, get to the top of this range once again, come down to make a major correction before heading back up once again, right? It just kind of depends because we already gotten there to the near the top once, and it fell all the way down to a 61% retracement. See, 61 right here. So a 61% retracement. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have as of right now off of UJ. And then, so the last pair I'm going to do for today is going to be gold. And then we're going to go from there. So gold has been really bullish overall. We had a lot of opportunities throughout. This is my most recent. Yeah, I don't remember why I have all of this. Could have sworn I've deleted all that a long time ago. Okay, well, we have come with that move. We are in the middle of this move. This is deleted. Okay, so as of right here, this is what we have. So I'm going to go ahead and turn everything off real quick. So you can see gold. Gold has been in a major uptrend for a while. So this is on the weekly time frame. So very simply put, price action on a weekly time frame. We have price coming up. We have a higher low here, higher high, higher low. Price fails to make a new high. So lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low. Now, one thing you want to mention right here, we have these lower highs and we have these higher lows, but look at just price action off this weekly time frame. You have a major push up, you have big consolidation followed by, you know, some additional consolidation in the up move, right? Continuing the highs, followed by consolidation, small movements, followed by some medium movements here, and then finally a breakout with strong momentum. So with this said, you can see how gold kind of reacts is right after a major push up, we have these major like reactions to it where people are trying to buy, people are trying to sell, and we're just like, bleh, right? It's just a lot. And then you see right here, we have a major push up. Guess what happens? Major pullback down. We kind of go sideways a little bit, kind of chopping it up. And then we start pushing back to the upside off of this weekly. If we look at the daily, kind of like what I was just showing you, we have this area where we're coming from an upside. We have a major pullback down, and then we kind of start going up and then coming down, right? And then a week, a very small price action, slowly grinding up, and now we have this major pullback down. And now we're starting to get this sideways action and a possibility of a move up. So very simply put, we are now on a daily. We're in an overall uptrend. We have higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. And then we have this minor higher low here. And then we also have now where price is currently at, which is creating a double bottom at this very moment. The only thing to be very mindful of is with this bearish engulfing bar, and this is the way I look at it, is look at this bearish engulfing bar. We get a break to the downside, and then what happens? Consolidate, 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 continuation. We have consolidated, consolidated slash continued, and now we're starting to break up. So if we look at this, continue down, and then we start to give it a break up. So this move might be a minor, like a smaller style of this move right here. So we could be followed by, not guaranteed, but could be followed by a continued movement to the upside, including this double bottom area. We got to a little bit shy of the 50% here. Yeah, this is on a daily too. So very simply put, we are in a bullish trend. 4 hour wise, let's look at 4 hour. 4 hour wise, we are, right? We came from this uptrend. We came down, made a lower high, lower low, and now we're pushing up. We made this lower high, higher low, and we're starting to break back to the upside, giving this 4 hour W head and shoulder style pattern as of this moment. So with this 4 hour, gold likes to move very fast. So if you're able to catch a opportunity off of the 4 hour, 2 hour, 1 hour, right, it could react very, very well to it. So as of this moment, we had what I like to call a inverted head and shoulders right here. Sorry, I kind of made that one sloppy. We have a inverted head and shoulders where these two higher lows, this higher low here, and this, this low here, right? These are matching the neckline right on our key level, right? 4,300. So we had a minor break, immediately rejected back up, and then came down, made a higher low, and now we're continuing up. The great thing about this is we have a key level involved, right? We have a Fibonacci zone that was near the 50. We have a higher low on the 4 hour. We have a break of this 9 EMA. We have a continuation of a bullish engulfing bar immediately after the break, showing price action is bullish. Now, the only thing we are missing, the only thing right now, is we need price to break this lower high. We are currently at the lower high, and we are seeing on this candle alone some rejection. And then, so this candle, we need this candle to either be pretty much the same as this candle or a breakout. And this is we still have 2.5 hours for this candle. So I am anticipating by market open, this candle is going to be planted and hopefully we will have a breakout. If we don't have a breakout, then we could break out on the next candle, or we could start making another pullback, because then the bearish momentum would still be in play based upon the 4-hour. Now, if we're looking at the 2-hour, 2-hour, very simple. We see the same concept, right? The inverted head and shoulders. We see that we are starting to react at this high once again. And then if we even go down to the 1-hour, same concept. We had this double bottom kind of formed right here as well. And then we started continuing to the upside. We are holding this EMA very well. We had this nice bullish engulfing bar off of this 1-hour time frame. And then didn't really engulf anything though, but it looks like a bullish engulfing, but it really didn't engulf anything. This is a bullish engulfing right here because it engulfed previous candles, right? So this one looks like a bullish engulfing bar, but it's just a bullish bar. It's not engulfing the previous candle. So that's where I say price action. Price action, right? This is a bullish engulfing bar, right? It came up, this is the open. It gapped up and it just ran up ahead, right? And then it engulfed all of these bars, but it missed out, these last two. But it gave the momentum for this breakout. So I'm expecting just like this did, where it consolidated, broke out. That's why I'm expecting here, right? Consolidation, consolidate, breakout, right? We are slowly grinding higher. So if we can break this high, then I would be expecting this high to be broken. We get a minor pullback back to it. We get another buy opportunity, and we continue riding this trend up. So that will pretty much end my pre-market analysis for today. And then if y'all have any questions, hopefully y'all can add some comments, and then just kind of ask some questions maybe for Sunday's pre-market. So y'all take it easy.